Guys, it's your girl, Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, where we teach you how to start at the top of the speaking market instead of working your way up from the bottom. During this show, you will hear solo episodes from me, where I'll show you how I have landed and negotiated 5- and 6-figure speaking contracts and licensing deals. You'll also hear from our amazing guests who have grown enormous speaking businesses by utilizing sales and marketing principles that work. If you want to grow your speaking business, listen to this podcast, and then afterwards, head on over to ashleynicolekirkwood.shop and grab my book, Speak Your Way to Cash, How to Start at the Top of the Speaking Market instead of working your way up from the bottom. Ready to dive in? Let's go. Hey, y'all. What's up to the Speak Your Way to Cash family? It's Ashley Kirkwood back again with another podcast episode. But this time, guys, I am actually going to let you listen in to a live video that I recorded. Now, if you're listening to this live video on the podcast and you're like, I want to join your next live, I want to ask you questions, I want to be able to get feedback about my business, then you have to follow me on Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show, and make sure you're following the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook page. All right. Make sure you're following the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook page because that's where I go live. I also sometimes go live in the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group, but enough about that. Even though you may have missed it live, you're about to hear it again. So listen into this live episode and let me know what you think. You can always send me an email to ashley@speakyourwaytocash.com. Let's listen in. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Ashley Kirkwood. I'm the founder of Speak Your Way to Cash and a company called Mobile General Counsel. And I'm so excited about what we're going to be discussing today because I think it's a really, really, really timely topic for every speaker, every entrepreneur, every business owner who's looking to grow and expand their business. So only listen in if you're joining on Clubhouse, if you're listening to the podcast, only listen in if you want to grow, if you want to be challenged, and you're okay with me being a little bit in your business, okay? Because that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, we're going to be talking about the 5 types of speakers that exist, that I've worked with, that I've seen, and what they need to do to grow their business. So if you're listening to this, I want you to let me know in the comments when I hit your doorstep. Now, that's like something that my dad used to say at church because he's a pastor. But what that means is if you hear something that's relevant to you, if you hear me describing struggles you're going through, if you hear me talk about a situation that you've been through, drop a "that's me" in the comments or in the back channel if you're joining via Clubhouse. So let's get started. And let me tell you all the genesis of why this topic came about, why we're talking about this. I am hosting an event in November called Speak Your Way to Cash Live. And that event is actually for speakers, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and experts and corporate heroes who want to grow their speaking businesses and they want to sell to large corporations. Now, in doing this event and in coaching speakers over the past several years, I've kind of found that most of them fall within these 5 buckets that we're going to talk about today, okay? And first, I'm going to tell you the buckets, and then we're going to go through them one by one, and then I'm going to give you tips for what each type of speaker should do to start growing their business. So if you're ready, drop a ready in the chat or drop a ready in the back channel so that we can get into this information. Number 1, the panel pro. The panel pro, okay? Number two, after the panel pro, we have the anointed keynoter. The anointed keynoter. Number 3 is the road warrior speaker. The road warrior speaker. Number 4 is the introverted expert with no speaking experience. Some of you may be there. Some of you may be there. And number 5 is the consumer's champ. The consumer's champ. Now, let's go through these one by one really quickly this morning. And I'm going to give you some tips. The panel pro. Now, this is the speaker that has spoken on so many panels. Any of you spoken on panels? You've spoken on panels for women's conferences, for church events, for entrepreneurial conferences. But at the end, you get a thank you, not a check. You get a thank you, not a check. Now, these types of speakers who've done a ton of panels, the speakers who've done a ton of panels, who always get invited to sit on a panel, who are the perfect moderators. Maybe you're an MC or a host for an event. You are always speaking alongside someone else, and you typically consider it an honor to get invited. And so when you get the invite, you're so excited and you don't even think about asking them to pay you or asking them for an honorarium or asking them for a rate. And in fact, the very fact that you even think about that when someone invites you to be on a panel, even the thought, right now, you're hearing me talk about you being a panel speaker And the very thought of it makes you cringe a little bit to have to ask somebody for some money. Okay. Anyone been there? Okay. I see some introverted experts. They're like, I'm the introverted expert. If you're the panel pro, drop a me in the chat. No shade, no judgment. Drop a me in the chat. Here's what I will say to you. It is very, 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 very possible that when people hear you speak, or when they see what you've done in your business, or they see what you've accomplished in your life, they want you to be a part of their event. The very fact that people are inviting you to speak at all, the very fact that people are inviting you to contribute to their panels means that they see something in you. It means they see something in you. And it means that you're not afraid to speak in front of a crowd. What you need to do is start evaluating these opportunities through maybe a more critical lens. Like, one, how does this advance my business? And two, ask a simple question every time you get invited to speak on a panel. Excellent. What is the budget for this event? What is your budget for this event? What is your budget for my participation in this event? Simple question. Just ask. And I say just start there. We're not going to go into negotiations. We're not going to go into any of that, because it's very likely that you haven't even asked. And the person sitting to your left or sitting to your right may very well be paid to speak. You just aren't getting paid to speak yet. So if you're the panel pro, my challenge to you, the start point for you will be to simply ask, what is the budget for this event? What is your honorarium for this event? What is the budget for my participation in this event more specifically? So that you can at least start the conversation, see whether or not they even have a budget, okay? So to all my panel pros out there, I feel you and I see you. I just want you to start asking whether or not the organizer has a question. Simple start. Simple start. You know, the vast majority of people, there's a good sum, I won't say the majority, there's a good sum of people that I've worked with or that I've coached in the past that when they come to me, they start getting paid to speak simply because they start asking for pay to speak. Like, they aren't even ready to implement the strategies that I teach just yet or in full, because my strategies, y'all, they don't have y'all. You got to be ready to have some difficult conversations if you're going to implement my strategy. But even if all you do is take 1% of what I teach and just start asking for people to pay you to speak or asking for people to give you more money, you're going to be in a better position. All right. So that's my tip for my panel pros. But let me go to the next group, because I'm going to tell you something. This group, I got to talk to this next group. And I know some of you all are out there, and because I know how y'all are, y'all may not even tell me you're out there, but the anointed keynoter. If you're not in this group, you know someone in this group. They are on every stage imaginable. Now, the anointed keynoter is someone that's spoken before. In fact, you may have spoken to large audiences at church, at conferences, but your speaking falls under the umbrella of ministry, okay? Am I talking to anyone out there? You know you have a gift, but you don't know how to monetize it. You don't know how to monetize it. And in fact, you may believe that monetizing your natural gifts is sinful or wrong for some reason. Now, as a preacher's kid and someone that spent the vast majority of my young adulthood as a minister in church, I have a special place in my heart for you. And I want you to be paid for your gifts. And I want you to get over that holier than thou notion that sometimes keeps us from actually getting paid for our gifts or actually monetizing our gifts. We love those that I believe they are anointed keynoters. We love the feeling that we get from seeing people's lives change, because it's also possible that not only do you speak, but you bring the house down. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? So you get up there in front of a large crowd, and you've done this before, and you've literally been able to see people physically react to what you're saying. Amen. You know what I mean? Hallelujah. Or they come up to you afterwards, and because of the power with which you've communicated, they tell you everything that's going on in their lives. And so when you have an opportunity, or when you should be asking, and I'm outside of the ministry context, right? So outside of the ministry context, it's very, 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 very possible that you should be asking to get paid to speak. You should be asking for an honorarium. You should be asking people to compensate you for your gifts. But a part of you feels that it's wrong. This is the anointed keynoter. This is the person that has no fear in a pulpit, but when it comes to the marketplace, when it comes to negotiating deals outside of church, it's a problem. This is the person that has all the faith in the world within the four walls of the church, but sometimes when you leave and it's time to do business, you regress a little bit. Anybody, DM me if it's you, because I know y'all ain't gonna tell me out loud. So DM me if that relates to you. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to understand Mr. or Miss Anointed Keynoter, I want you to understand that the thing that comes easy to you could be the very thing that you are supposed to be compensated well to do. The very thing that comes easy to you, the thing that helps you to touch people, could be the very thing that you're supposed to get paid to do. And here's the other thing about it. And this may help somebody. When you are paid for your gifts outside of church, outside of when you're volunteering, outside of those specific arenas, when you are paid for your gifts, when you are charging people for something, when you are ensuring that you're able to charge a corporation for speaking to them, what happens is they put a different level of respect and expectation on the service that they're paying for. And here's the other thing I want you all to realize. In case you have not thought about it like this in the past, I have to say this. Some people feel like they can't be themselves in a corporate environment. They can't bring the same power and authority that they bring to a pulpit, to a corporation. But the fact of the matter is, what comes from the heart literally reaches the heart. The more vulnerable you are, the more impactful you are, the more genuine you are, you can reach people anywhere. I'm gonna tell you all a quick story. I tried a case on behalf of a young man who was convicted of a very long prison sentence. But we were working on some civil rights stuff for him, and I had to do the opening statement. Every skill, every gift, every powerful presentation and delivery skill that God gave me to reach people when I was in ministry, in pulpits and all of that, was the same skill, the same gift, the same authority, the same power that allowed me to give an opening statement that was transformative on behalf of that young man. And we won. And it wasn't a church, but it's the same gift. Just to talk to my preachers for a bit, people that minister, do you notice the difference between a TD Jakes and maybe a less experienced minister? Now, I haven't talked to TD Jakes about this, but one of the differences that I can just perceive is the level of preparation, the style in delivery, the pace, the tone, the moments when he goes up, the moments when he comes down. If you look at most very large, popular preachers, there is organization, there is tone, there is pace, there is storytelling, and there's a bit of theatrics. Now, we think that the gifts that make us powerful in church will not transform lives outside the church house. And that's false. What I want you to do, Mr. and Miss Anointed Keynoter, is I want you to honor the gifts that you've been given. Serve at the level that you feel you're called to serve. But when it comes to doing business outside of the church, outside of where you're serving, charge well. Because when you don't, it is very difficult for people who are in the world to respect you. And without that level of respect, they won't heed the advice that you're giving them. And if they don't heed the advice that you're giving them, they won't change their own lives. You're doing people a disservice by failing to charge for the transformation that you facilitate. Let's be clear. There are arenas that are suited for you to serve. When I go to my dad's church, I'm not like, Dad, pay me to speak. You want me to speak? You want me to pray for these people? Pay me. I don't do that. That's inappropriate from my vantage point. So no, I don't do that. But when I go into corporations, absolutely, they're going to pay. And the same power that I bring to the pulpit is the same power I can bring into these organizations. And the change is there. And oftentimes, the change is there more rapidly because they paid. So the respect level is there and their ability to heed the direction is there because they've paid. Sometimes people can't change because they're getting too much stuff for free. Quick question. Will you let me coach you for 3 days? Look, I know that it will be life-changing. I have seen it with my own eyes. So I want you to join me at Speak Your Way to Cash Live 2021, November 4th through the 6th. It's a hybrid event and it's our 6th one, okay? I'm not trying these strategies out on you all. I'll be teaching you what you need to land 5- and 6-figure corporate speaking contracts, grow your speaking business, sell to large and medium-sized corporations as well as colleges, and get the press that you need to start getting some of those inbound inquiries that everyone wants. We'll cover pitching. We'll cover press. We'll cover assembling your proposal and proposal writing. We'll make sure that we also cover how to deliver a rock-solid speech, develop your framework, and guess what, guys? If you've attended in the past, this year is 100% new content, same focus. All right. So I want you to join me there. And if you get a VIP ticket, you can meet me live. We will be live and in person in Chicago, Illinois. And so come on in. We have various safety protocols to keep everyone safe, but it's going to be one of the best investments you make in your life. And our reviews tell us that is a 100% truth. All right. So if you want to come, just go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event. Speakyourwaytocash.com/event, because I want to coach you for 3 days and help you to start speaking your way to cash. Talk to you soon, guys. Let's get back to this episode. So, Mr. and Miss Anointed Keynoter, you're going to have to charge for the transformation. There are strategies and techniques that we can teach you at Speak Your Way to Cash Live to make sure that you know how to do it, so that you have the confidence to move people through a sales process. But there is nothing icky, wrong, or salacious about charging for transformation that you provide, especially to for-profit companies. Come on, somebody. All right, so I had to spend a little more time there. Now, number 3, the Road Warrior speakers. The Road Warrior speaker. We got a comment sometime in the mindset of saying it's free when it's not. Yeah. So let's go to number 3, the Road Warrior speaker. The Road Warrior speaker. Let me talk to you all. You're the speaker that posts about speaking all the time. You take the selfies with the big stage behind you, and you're sitting right between $2,000 and $7,000 for each of your speeches. Now, you like the Road Warrior life. You like speaking for pay. However, what you know is that it is not sustainable to do this long term. It's just not. When you look 30 years down the road, you do not see yourself hopping on 50 planes a year. When you think about missing your kid's graduation or your wife's birthday or your husband's anniversary, like, you don't see that as a sustainable life. And although it's a high being on that stage, you don't see it as a long-term business plan, especially with what we had with COVID. So you're looking for ways to make passive income and to utilize your hard work and sales skills so that you get repeated revenue. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to accept the fact that you are still valuable, powerful, and impactful if you never leave your house. I also want you to accept the fact that you can charge not just for your initial speech, but for the licensing of the speech on the back end. They don't automatically get access to your licensing rights just because they hired you to speak one time. So I need you to shift your mindset, because you already know how to sell. You already know how to pitch, and you're already making money speaking. However, you want to have long-term impact without ever leaving your house. And you still want to get it through speaking and consulting. And you may not have even considered consulting because you may not see yourself as a consultant. You don't even think that you can sell to corporate. That's why you stick to what you know, because you're good at it, but you're intrigued by it. You need to be at Speak Your Way to Cash Live. Okay. You need to be at Speak Your Way to Cash Live. Now, if this is good, drop good in the comments. I hope I'm helping somebody. So I got to wrap it up in about 6 minutes. Okay. 4, the introverted expert with no speaking experience. The introverted expert with no speaking experience. Now, someone earlier said that's me. Like, I'm the introverted expert with no speaking experience. Okay, look, now you're someone, I've coached you before. I have people that I've coached in this lane. You may have gotten paid to speak a little bit. And by that, I mean, you may have a lot of experience speaking, but do not have a lot of experience being highly paid to speak. But what you do have is a high level of expertise. You also have zero desire to hop around stage and make a whole show for people. So corporate is where you need to be. You are the person who's watching this right now, like, okay, this is me. Like, you went and got all the degrees, checked all the boxes, applied to job, probably have corporate experience, and you're interested in selling, you're interested in getting paid to speak, but the traditional way that you think of selling makes you cringe just a little bit. Like, it makes you a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, if that's you, then keep listening. What I want you to recognize is that every day of the week, there are billion and now trillion-dollar corporations paying people with your level of expertise just to share their knowledge, not to get on stage and hop around, not to put on a huge performance in a show, just to share their knowledge. Why is that? Because what you may be thinking is like, why would these companies pay me to speak when, they have so many individuals who are more qualified to speak, or who are already like more well paid to speak or whatever. In fact, you may be one of those people that believes that because someone has more than you, then they are more than you. So like, you defer to the person who makes the most money in the room, or you defer to the person who's the loudest in the room, or you defer to the person who's the cutest in the room. You may have a mindset shift that needs to happen that whatever you have, it's enough. Just because someone else has more stuff than you, it does not make them more than you. And your voice, the way it is, can open doors for you. You don't have to change it. You just have to package and position yourself for the opportunities. But who you are does not need to change to get paid to speak in the corporate landscape. So number 5 is the consumer's champ. Now, this is for my successful entrepreneurs, the people who primarily sell to consumers right now and business owners, but they're intrigued by these 5 and 6 figure corporate speaking offers that I keep talking about. You're someone who knows exactly how to sell to consumers. You can write a funnel in a minute. You can put up a post in a minute. You can run a sale in a minute. You can send out an email in a minute. But when it comes to selling to corporations, it feels big, scary, and icky. So you are the person who needs to have a mindset shift that the same strategies that you use on consumers could very well work for corporations, because there's a huge shift in the marketplace right now, and companies want real more than anything. They want real more than anything. Now you're like, okay, Ashley, well, I didn't really hear myself in it. I don't really fit into any of these categories per se. I just want to learn how to crush my limiting beliefs, become a masterful storyteller, and sell my skills to colleges and corporations. Now, you too should be a Speaker Ready Cash Live. Now, I've given you, someone's like, this is me, all the degrees and experience. So look, I've given you guys the 5 people who need to meet me at Speaker Ready Cash Live, where we're going to break down your limiting beliefs, show you exactly how to sell to corporations, give you sales scripts, templates, advanced copies of my book, 3 days of full-on coaching and information that's implementable and actionable. And we're going to do a language lab where I actually tell you the exact words you need to use to move corporate sales conversations forward. This event is full of information. It's my 6th one, the best one that I've done. And I did this video so that people can know, like, if you're within the realm of the people that I spoke to and I pointed out, or you just want to learn how to sell to corporations, you need to be there. There is no other place on the planet that is better for you to be November 4th through the 6th. I don't care what you got going on. Like, that's where you should be if this was at all interesting to you. So to get your tickets, go to speakerreadycash.com/event. Now, one more thing. We have a pre-event prospecting party. Only you all watching this right now are hearing this and can take advantage of this. Our pre-event prospecting party is where I will be showing you live how I find the decision maker and pitch them. And I'm going to start a pitch campaign live during the pre-event prospecting party. It's taking place September 20th. Technically, this was a bonus for everyone who did early bird registration. But today only, what's today's date? Because some of y'all going to watch the replay and you're going to miss it. Today only, whatever today's date is, August 27th. Friday, August 27th. If you buy your ticket today, and you DM me and let me know you bought your ticket today, August 27th, 2021, I will give you access to the pre-event prospecting party as well, so that you can take advantage of that, because it's going to be life-changing. So here's the thing. speakyourwaytocash.com/event. That is the event, the number one event for speakers and thought leaders who want to land 5 to 6 figure corporate contracts. And it's the only event that will show you how to utilize our proprietary paid methodology in order to land high-paying corporate speaking contracts and grow your business. All right? So you all go get your tickets. DM me. Let me know that you got them, and I will talk to you guys a bit later. All right. Wasn't that interview amazing? If you're anything like me, you have pages full of notes. But here's the thing. Before you head out, I want you to go to facebook.com and join the Speak Your Way to Cash Facebook group. That is where I am. That's where a ton of other speakers are, a ton of other people who listen to the show. We all congregate there and chat. And it's 100% free. Now, if you're ready to take your speaking career to the next level, I have 2 ways for you to do that. One, you can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com/SYWTC live replay and pick up the live replay. That training is 7 modules, chock full of information. It's crazy. Go over there, read all about it. Or if you want a more personal experience, you already know that you want to be a speaker. You're ready to fully commit and you want someone to walk you through it and save you tons of time Googling and doing it on your own, then book a VIP day with me. You can go to ashleynicolekirkwood.com, scroll down until you see the VIP day section and get more information on that there. All right. Thank you guys again for watching. Please do not forget to leave us a review. That is how we keep this train rolling and get some of the best speakers in the world to get on this show. So please, please, please leave a review. shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and Facebook in the Speak Your Way to Cash group, Instagram at the Ashley Nicole Show. And I'd be more than happy to chat with you and say hi. All right, y'all have an awesome, awesome day.